Okay, welcome to the Week 7 update. First thing, just we'll jump right into it. It seems maybe I've made it too complicated, but this whole thing with the free agent pickups on Sundays and Mondays, it's just seems to be causing a lot of confusion. What it's what the deal is with with the fab bidding, you can't pick up a player that day. They have to pass through waivers, and everybody gets a chance to bid on them. The reason I did the free free agents on Sunday and Monday is mainly for if you get a player that gets injured in pregame warmups or whatever, and you absolutely can't field a lineup, you're able to pick up a player, and start them just so you can field a lineup. So we're getting a lot of people that are, I guess waking up Sunday morning, seeing a player got is ruled out, and then they're just picking up a player for free, and that's kind of defeats the whole purpose of the fab bidding. So we kind of need to get that under control, and only use that for emergencies. Is basically, if you're picking up a player on Sunday or Monday, it should only be a player that is, replacing a player in your lineup that you otherwise would not be able to fill out a lineup. And then you would need to, and then on Tuesday morning, you need to drop that player or the injured player. No, I'm sorry. You drop the player that you picked up back in to the free agency pool. So hopefully that clears things up. Again, if there's any questions, text or let me know, and we'll try to clear it up more. But it just seems like that's something that's kind of been kind of a hang up there. Hopefully that clears it up a little more. All right, we're going to go straight into the game of the week for Week 7, and we'll go to the matchup between TD Twisters and Houday 23. Both teams near the bottom of their respective divisions. After the week, they both ended up 2-5. So really, it was a must-win game for both. Whoever won it, gets back, kind of keeps pace, or tries to get back in the playoff race there. But outside of that, it ends up being a 10-point game. And TD Twister started off super strong with Barkley and Taylor, Amon-Ra, all in the early games, throwing up a combined 60. Jumped out to a pretty good lead, and then, where they could kind of put it on cruise control almost, it seemed like. Waller at 22, his biggest day of the week. And then you had Houday 23. They had a lot of players playing in late games, but Pittman had a decent game and whatnot. And then I know John's been working on Sunday, so he's been having a hard time. A couple times he's missed some late scratches for the 4 o'clock games. So he has Metcalf out. And then here comes Houday 23 with Kelsey's huge game. Javonte Williams had a nice game. Puka with a big game. Get all the way back into the lead, and then to the point where TD Twisters needs not a miracle, but needs points out of Purdy on Monday night, and it wasn't pretty. Purdy. That's sorry about that. It wasn't pretty, but Purdy got it done and gave the TD Twisters a much needed win to kind of maybe hopefully turn their season around there. But that's what I had for the game of the week. Kind of a back and forth affair there, and it's always exciting when they come down to where the points are needed on Monday night. But with that, we'll head over to the whip around, and we'll start. No change in the points race. You kind of got the well, three people kind of running away with it, with a few lurking on the outside there. But Kathy is in first yet again. What I'm going to do for the whip around this week, a couple weeks ago, I went over the running back groups and then the wide receiver groups. And today I'm going to kind of lump together QBs and tight ends, kind of those onesie positions. So, but yeah, Kathy leading the points race in at 1,023. And big reason for the good start to the season so far has been Tua at QB, and it had two down games, but when he's on, he's been on, and the type of QB that can carry the way. And then at tight end, everybody, if you watch a Falcons game for more than a couple minutes, Pitts is there. He makes these great, amazing catches. It just, for whatever reason, the Falcons coaching staff just not using him. But this year he seems to be a little more consistent than he's been in the past, but still hasn't reached the potential that everybody thought he had coming into the draft. But so that kind of a little iffy proposition there. He's not going to kill you in your lineup, but definitely not. At least hasn't proven yet to be a league winner, or a week winner, I should say. That'll take us over to Hemp Hogs in at 1,001. Those are our only two teams above 1,000 so far. The first two teams above 1,000, I should say. And they've got Herbert at quarterback, and this was actually his worst week so far this year. He's kind of having a bounce back year from last year. And, I don't know what happened in that second half of that Chiefs game. It looked like it was going to be a shootout there for a while, but end up, like I said, Herbert having his worst week of the season. That kind of cost Hemp Hogs a little. And then they got Goddard at tight end, and he got off to a super slow start, but it seems like, 2 out of the last 3 weeks or so, or even maybe the last 3 weeks, he's kind of put it together, a couple of touchdowns and starting to get more looks. Really at the expense of Devontae Smith, but so it seems like kind of AJ Brown and Goddard are kind of becoming the alphas there for catching balls for Philadelphia. But so a nice combo there with Herbert and Goddard. Then we'll head over to Fargan Ice Holes in at 926 on a 5-game winning streak. I'm sorry, 981 and on a 5-game winning streak. And really, what we're talking about today, probably Fargan Ice Holes has it locked up better than anybody in the league at these two positions. You got Josh Allen, even when, it doesn't look good on the field, or, it doesn't look good for the Bills, he's still putting up huge fantasy points. And then, of course, Mark Andrews, another big week this week. I think he has maybe one or two. He had an injury week or whatever, but he's right there with Kelsey as far as consistency, which it's been that way for the last couple of years, really, in fantasy. So Tony, went out, and built the team around that, and it's really paying dividends so far. And then we'll head over to RB, the Rasta Dogs. Once again, talk about building your team around the onesie positions. Patrick Mahomes, nothing really needs to be said about him. It's either, pretty much floor. Everybody's talking about he's having a off year for Mahomes, but I went back and looked. He's had just one game under 20 points. So, and then he has this big 41-point game this week. So, you can definitely do a lot worse than Patrick Mahomes. And then kind of Kittle, not as consistent as he was in his earlier years, but he's still capable of the big 3 touchdown game he had a couple weeks ago. And again, it comes with the tight end position, and he's, I think, a tier below your Kelce's and your Andrews, just because of the consistency factor. And actually, Njoku down there, he's another that's been kind of a little older than Pitts, but kind of that all the talent in the world, but just for whatever reason the team hasn't utilized them or just hasn't quite put it together. But Kittle and Njoku, kind of solid 1-2 punch there at tight end. And that'll take us over to White Bronco in at 926 points. Been doing it pretty much at the Jacksonville connection there all year with Trevor Lawrence and Evan Ingram. And it's paid off. I mean, Lawrence, again, hasn't had any like weak winning performances, but has been solid, steady there, keeping you in the game. And then Ingram, again, more consistent than most tight ends. He's going to get you that 8, 9, 10-point week. Throws a touchdown in there, you get up around 15. So again, one of the few positions or in redraft, it's one of the few situations where I kind of like that stack where if they're both on that week, you're going to have a huge week. So you got the quarterback throwing to the tight end where, other positions that can kind of, I don't know, it takes away from your team where that kind of stack in redraft seems to work pretty well. And it's working for White Bronco, obviously. Then we'll head over to your mama in at 889 points. Got Lamar Jackson at quarterback, his biggest week of the year so far. Can't say that I really want him to have a good year, but for fantasy purposes, it's been kind of a mixed bag so far, but always that potential to have the 41-point week, and kind of like Josh Allen, even if it's not effective on the NFL field, it can even it can be effective for fantasy with his running and things like that. And then, to me, the steal of the draft at tight end, Sam Laporta there. Touchdowns have kind of thinned out a little, but I know he got nicked up a couple weeks ago. But still, I mean, the targets and the receptions have just been nonstop. I mean, you wish that I'm sure Falcons fans wish that they had the Lions coaching staff the way they use the way they're using Laporta. He's been a real steal for your mama, and a nice 1-2 punch there with Jackson and Laporta. Just need to get those injuries done over with at those other positions. Now I'll take us over to Houday 23, and Burrow at quarterback. I don't think I need to spend too much time on that. Hopefully we're over the worst of it and we're headed for brighter pastures. And then you take Kelsey and you don't worry about it. Kelsey at tight end. There's just probably really been very, especially Gronk comes to mind instantly at tight end, but really, it's hard to, you can count on one hand the players that have dominated their position for as long as Kelsey's dominated the tight end position. I really don't like his off the field antics and stuff like that, but his on the field dominance just really can't be denied. That'll send us over to the Ingrown Hairs in at 836 points. Been riding Jalen Hurts all year at quarterback, and that has been fine, really. I think he's the number 2 or number 1 quarterback. And, kind of, and again, maybe he only throws 1 touchdown or doesn't throw a touchdown, but it seems like he's going to run 1 or 2 every game. So that baseline is kind of always there. And you kind of like having that flex, that floor in fantasy football. Tight end's been a whole nother story. Started off, tried to catch lightning in a bottle with Kincaid there. That didn't work out. Reached for another rookie this past week in Musgrave. It seems like he can't really stay healthy for a full game. It's like he'll start off good every week. It's like, he gets some nick or ding throughout the game and just throws off his whole game. So really, I'm in kind of scramble mode there at tight end, which is not really the recipe for success in fantasy. You really have to hit on all the other positions to be able to kind of punt tight end, and obviously missed with Kincaid. So we'll see how that pans out the rest of the way. And that'll take us over to the TD Twisters in at 800 points even, well 800.62, and then they've kind of gone the other way, just kind of probably more than most teams. Just kind of doing the quarterback by committee between Purdy and Cousins, and mixed results. Obviously, made the wrong choices this week, which who would have thought Cousins versus Purdy on prime time, and Cousins had the better game. But Purdy got him just enough to win. And again, it's the philosophy. People won championships with less than Brock Purdy at quarterback for sure. So. Not the worst strategy in the world. And Waller's been, not. I was really high on him coming into the season. Got off to kind of a slow start, but he's had several double-digit weeks, and really not killing yet tight end. And then throwing up that 22, it seems like maybe he's starting to get into that offense. Seems like the last couple weeks he's been seeing more targets and kind of becoming really almost like the Kelsey of that offense, where the receivers are just kind of mismatched or whatever. Just not, the tight end is the main target hog on the team, which is good for Waller owners, obviously. And then lastly, we'll head over to Blue Blobs. And so Blue Blobs went with Justin Fields in the bye or in the draft, and it just super slow start. Then he has kind of gave up on him. He has 2 good weeks, and now he's injured, so who knows what's going on. So you take that shot, you hope it works out, and then when it doesn't, you are scrambling. And I know he tried to plug in Russell Wilson for a few weeks and to mix results, and now Stroud, maybe he's the answer. We'll see. And then at tight end, TJ Hawkinson, again, I think he's just outside that Kelsey Andrews tier just because of consistency. But again, not a position that's hurting you there. But that inconsistency at quarterback has been kind of what's been the problem. So, all right. So again, just that's all I got for this week. I don't know how many people listen to this far or listen at all, but if we can, just try to clean up that. If you have questions about what's going on with the waiver wire on Sunday and Monday, please reach out to me. And if it keeps happening, I might have to make some changes or maybe try to clarify it again in another text or email or post or something. So, all right. As always, good luck, everybody.